Good morning. I hope everyone's having a safe and happy 4th of July. My name is Phil Frazier, and I'd like to thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak to you today about a subject that's very important to me and I hope applies to some of you in the audience. Early on in my life, I was adopted at 2 days old and brought home to a completely nuclear family. No one was odd or outside. They were a completely biological core group. They brought me into their fold, and I experienced life growing up with their beliefs, with their thoughts, with their habits and desires. After marrying and having a family of my own, I began to experience some health issues, which prompted me to locate my biological family. In doing so, I found my biological father in Wichita, Kansas, and we began a relationship. Growing up, I was raised in a very conservative Christian home. I had a completely different makeup from my brothers and sisters, who we were all very close and raised together. But I noticed that I had different beliefs, thoughts, activities. And what was interesting was that I wasn't like them in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Now, I always knew I was adopted. That was never a surprise to me. I was always aware of the fact I'd been told from the very beginning by my parents, who are my mom and dad and always will be my mom and dad. But I noticed there was something different about me as far as my education, my studies. I was an average student. My brothers and sisters were above average students. As you can see, I'm a big man. They're all tall and skinny. They're white-collar workers, and I'm a blue-collar worker. And so there were just a lot of subtle differences that nobody really gave any thought to. When I met my father in 1996, I'll call him Neil because he's not my dad. My dad is the guy who adopted me when I was very young. My father, Neil, is so similar to me, it's almost scary. I had a conversation with my mom, and she stated to me, you know, when you were growing up, I always thought that nature versus nurture is the environment that you were raised in, our beliefs that we instilled in you, our values that we instilled in you would overcome whatever chromosomal gene or makeup you had. Now, I'm a productive member of society, I like to think. I don't think I'm any monster or anything of that nature. However, there is a fine difference between my biological family and my adoptive family. And what has struck me is on our first visit, my first visit with my actual father, Neil, in Kansas, was the photos that were taken on that first encounter. I never had an opportunity to know who I looked like. I never had an opportunity to know who I spoke like. I never had an opportunity to know who I even stood like. And what was ironic to me about that encounter was when we looked back at the photos and the videos and things, how much alike we were. So it prompted me to begin to think about nature versus nurture and how much there is in the genes in someone. You can't really change that. You are like someone. You are passing those traits, those demeanors, those behaviors on in your life. So in closing, I would like to just express to you the importance of knowing who you are and where you come from. Somebody is like you out there. You are the way you are for a reason. And everybody has certain things that maybe they can't explain, but it's in your genes somewhere. So again, thank you for allowing me to speak to you. I hope you have a happy and safe 4th of July.